Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thank you guys for joining us. We are back. I am Kat, the nurse flipper, if you do not know, joined by my co-host Rod, picking and punching. Below me, these two guys have both been on before, and Marsha will be sharing links in the chat tonight for them. Tim, over the years, is below me, and Catty Corner is Dan from Dan in Demand. So I am going to make these two gentlemen big, let them introduce themselves, tell you all their 5 million places that they're at so you can find them. And yeah, and then we'll get to your questions. We do have quite a few in already, which is typical. So make sure you get your questions in early if you want to make sure we answer them. And here is Tim.
My name is Tim. From over the years, I enjoy slow, long walks down the glass aisle at thrift stores. I also like jalapeno cornbread with bacon honey. And yeah, you guys can find me. I do sports cards and I do like antiques and I do a little bit of everything. And I'm everywhere. And yeah, that's about it. I just had a baby too. Well, almost 3 months in about a week and a half. So yeah, that's my life right there in a nutshell.
Perfect. Here's Dan.
Wait, I don't know what to say. Hello, I'm Dan. What'd you say?
Talk about your podcast.
Stop that. Did you just have a baby? No, I'm just kidding.
I did not just have a baby. I have a dog. His name is Dodger. He's sleeping over here.
Podcast.
What did I say?
Podcast.
Reseller leftovers.
Yeah, you can find me. I have a YouTube channel, but it's very dormant all the time. But you can find me on the Reseller Leftovers podcast on YouTube, and I sell mostly men's clothing and shoes, and I'm dabbling in sports cards for cards. I think it's it. Is that good? Is that enough?
That's good.
Perfect.
Yeah, good. Good job.
I felt like I was on the hot seat.
Jalapeno cornbread with honey. Now
Honey,
now
bacon
you
honey.
Scott
Bacon
hasn't
honey.
eaten in a week, and now he wants cornbread.
Bacon honey.
How do you make bacon honey?
Jalapeno. Have you ever had bacon jam?
Yes.
No.
Crack.
No.
I've had bacon jam. It's awesome.
It's so good.
I have
Absolutely.
not. All right.
You're missing out. You haven't lived. You have bacon jam. Just saying.
I'll have to find it. Miss Debbie sent a super chat at 1:00 this afternoon, so she has to go first. Her question is, she says that they sell furniture on eBay. They offer free pickup or the buyer can arrange shipping. How would we get an estimate for shipping without a zip code so it will show in our listing? Do you guys want me to take this, or does anybody else sell furniture?
I just put it 90210 and the dimensions, and that's what I would put it as for the cost of shipping.
Does that with furniture?
What's that?
Does that work with furniture? I don't know anything about furniture, so
No?
there's no
Okay.
chance you want to listen to me.
Go ahead, Kat. You can take this one.
I was just practicing the hot seat thing. That's
Yeah.
all.
Well, you failed. All right.
Testing out as answered. So you cannot. I put freight, and I put that they have to message me with their zip code. I'm in Florida. I'm not sure where you're at, but I'm in the bottom corner of the country. So my shipping could range from like $150 to somebody in Florida to $600 or $700 in California. So that range, I don't guess. I do know that some furniture sellers, like let's say it's a $1,500 dresser, just as an example, and you bought it for $50, right? So you have tons of profit in there. You could put shipping as like $350 and go in the middle, right? And then just know that you're going to have to pay if that California or far away buyer. But if you got a $1,500 markup there, then it would be okay to take that, $300 hit. But you're not going to be able to, because with freight, it's going to vary so much. but you can get a quote on UShip once they email you or message you the zip code. UShip will give you a freight like estimate, and I normally tell them whatever's in the middle, and I've never not been able to book for what the average price is for my zip code to theirs. So yeah, that the answer is you can't unless if you're lucky and you're in the middle of the country, you might be able to, where it's going to be equal distance. But
I'm gonna start selling furniture. Indiana.
Other than that, I mean, somebody asked me, it was actually another eBay, or they had a chance to buy like a table set like I have. And they're like, does it sell fast? And I'm like, no, like I've had this table set for a year. Furniture typically is not fast. And you got to have a lot of space. So, and that's exactly what I told them. I'll help other sellers, even if they're like, they were messaging me on eBay. I don't care. But it takes a long time and it takes a lot of space. So since the cost of gas went up, I quit picking up furniture because freight's so expensive. She said they're in New Jersey. So you're going to have the same thing. You're on the East Coast. So yours is going to range, from low to really high if it goes to Seattle or California. So I just put freight shipping, and then I put a note in my listing to message with the zip code if they're interested. And with furniture, they will message you and give you their zip code, and then you can give them a freight quote from UShip. But without their zip code, I would not, unless you have a lot of profit in it and you're willing to eat $300 when California buys it from you. That's the only thing. Oh, I got to give something. What am I giving? Let me see. I'm going to do my octopus. Here you go. Dun, dun, dun.
That gives me
Baba sent one,
heavy Jim Buffett vibes right there on that
Jimmy
one.
Buffett.
I'm a heavy Jimmy Buffett, period. Like the islands.
Did you know Jimmy Buffett makes like these wood like figurines with like the patterns on them and everything?
No, I haven't seen them.
Yeah.
He's not making
Def Paul
anything.
Picker sold a bunch of them. Jimmy Buffett figurines.
I need to look. Now I've got to look.
Yeah, you guys were talking about it last week when they were on here.
About the figurines?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, or that's Jimmy Shore.
Jimmy Shore.
Oh my goodness.
Tim went through a deep dive the one night about what is Jim Shore, and then it went just down a rabbit hole.
Jim Shore, Jim Henson, and so now we got 4 people: Jim Shore, Jim Henson, Jim Davies, and Jimmy Buffett walk into a bar.
All the gyms.
All the gyms.
Gino's here.
He didn't know who made what, so it was funny.
You got to figure out your gyms. You got to learn your gyms. That's your homework.
My wife's trying to get me to go to the gym.
That's another gym. All right, I'm gonna give Lala Tim because Tim's here now. So here you go. Rawr.
That's so good.
Dinosaurs are.
All right. Miss Eleanor wants to know if anybody's using Pirate Ship, and if so, how do you like it? She's considering using it for Depop.
I use Pirate Ship for everything. I don't ship any other way except for Pirate Ship. Everything gets shipped Pirate Ship. I am ahoy matey. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. At the end of the year, you get all your numbers all in one place. It's perfect. No problems. You could buy insurance on there. So I love it. I don't use anything else.
Really? I use it. I like it. I would use it if I sold on. I do sell on. I have sold on Depop, and I used it. I just used it yesterday.
But yeah, Depop you don't have to use it because Depop you can get. I just do $5 shipping on Depop, and yeah, I do. I do my own shipping on Depop too. Don't use Depop shipping.
What?
Yeah, don't use Depop shipping.
No,
use
I don't.
Pirate Ship.
Yeah, I use No, I sold on Depop. Then I buy the label on pirate ship.
Yeah.
Brandon's saying that Depop is cheaper shipping.
No way.
I don't know. Depop or Grailed, one of them kicked me off before I even sold anything, so I don't list on either one of them, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about Depop. You're going to make one sale every 6.5 months, so.
I've been on there like 3 years or so. Well, I don't have much on there, but I've sold like 3 things.
Very true. It's like Bonanza. But Kevin
I was
doesn't own
getting
Depop.
ready to say that.
But Kevin doesn't own Depop. He owns Bonanza, though. So. But I use pirate ship, and I love it. For district, for all my Dibbit orders, Dibbit cards, Dibbit threads, I use pirate ship all the time. And then when I sell something on eBay, they have to ship through UPS, or I have to get an insurance and signature confirmation. I go through pirate ship because if you have an insurance claim, they actually handle it for you, which is super nice.
Oh, on pirate ship?
Yes, pirate ship.
Yeah, pirate ship's insurance is really good, but you got to be careful. You need to read the fine print on some of these insurance things because they don't cover sports cars up to a certain amount either. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I should have read that before I sent $8,000 package, but
yeah, definitely read that.
Yeah, so, but yeah, no, I use pirate ship all the time.
Ocolino, it's really easy. Like you just sign up. It's like just your email. I think I do mine through like my Gmail. I didn't even have to fill anything out. I use pirate ship, but mainly for like direct viewer sales. I use all the platform shipping. And it's really easy. I like it too. It's easier to print off platform for me and change the weights than it is to go to pirate ship. So we just go with the easier way.
You can also connect your eBay account to it.
But I couldn't figure an easy way to like by order and zip code go and change the weights because we have to change almost every weight before we print. So like I couldn't find an easy way to go through like 30 eBay sales. Like on eBay, it lists them all. Pirate ship, I couldn't figure out how to change them easily, like at one time. Is there an easy way and I couldn't figure it out?
I don't understand. What are you doing?
I think she bulk.
Well, like, so for my jewelry and stuff, I always put 8 ounces and it's 4 ounces because I have that little buffer for like my poly.
So you're doing calculated shipping.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, no, I don't do that. I'm a flat.
Yeah,
rater.
but I mean, if so you don't have weights imported anyways.
No, it just imports the sale, and then I go and I put in the measurements and the weight after I pack the item.
Does it have like a list, or do you just do like one at a time? I didn't see an easy way to just go down.
Oh yeah, no, I just do one at a time.
Yeah, see that.
I'm a very low volume guy, so you know, I don't have to worry about that bulk stuff.
I messed up too many times trying to do bulk labels, so I do one at a time too.
See, yeah, okay, that was like my main reason why I didn't switch to that. All right, Patty wants to know: has anyone found a holiday weekend sales event on eBay ending Monday at midnight instead of on Sunday? Because it is Memorial Day weekend coming up. If you don't know.
Yeah. Have I found a holiday weekend sales event on eBay?
I wonder if she means like one that eBay's put. You know how eBay?
Oh yeah, I got it. I got a message from them. I got a message from them that I can. There's like some sort of coupon code that you can use, but that they sent out like via like notification on my phone. But that would be weird if it ended on Sunday and not Monday, because Monday is Memorial Day. So.
I have not received.
Come on, Dan.
I don't know anything
tonight.
I have no idea. I don't know anything. I don't know how to answer that.
You say pass.
I'll say pass. I don't.
That's -1 point if you pass, though.
Well, but we want me to make something.
Dan.
I haven't looked. I'm very bad about reading my email.
Just name a very tasty food if you don't know the answer.
Pizza.
That sounds so boring. What about quick and easy lasagna cups?
What is wrong with you two? So I did get the email. I did see the promotion thing, but I mean, Memorial Day is not
Tuna
usually a big
pizza.
sales day.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I forgot. Cats didn't get food. You're hungry.
I am hungry, but I don't want tuna pizza.
Tuna pizza.
is it
Tuesday
raw?
tuna.
If it's
that
raw
hungry.
tuna on the pizza, raw tuna.
Tuna.
It's like a sushi pizza.
Oh, that sounds great.
I missed this email. Now I'm gonna have to go find the email about the
saw it.
sale
I'll
of
be
it.
honest. I'm not going to read any. I never read the emails.
I don't either. That's why I have
Very
no clue
bad.
what's going on. Marcia says tuna pizza is good.
What is tuna pizza?
I've never heard tuna pizza
Here,
before.
we have a question.
I want to ask Dan what his favorite Seinfeld line is. Mine is the statue episode. Shouldn't be out of on a ledge somewhere. My what the my favorite line would have probably the shrinkage. What's the shrink? He was in the pool. I was in the pool. That or the Summer of George. What's his line in there? I don't know. Probably the shrinkage.
Festivus.
Oh, that's
The line I remember from the show period the most is "No soup for you." That's
No
like
soup for you. Yes.
No
The Soup Nazi signs autographs at the Chantilly card show.
Does he really?
Look,
Yeah.
Missy said it too. Yeah, no soup for you.
He was a great character.
I'm not a big
What do we-
Seinfeld guy.
Dan, what super chat do I give?
Kevin is the
Oh,
mermaid.
Dalton's coming in. I do have the mermaid.
Yeah, play the mermaid.
Okay, we'll do the mermaid.
Merman.
You can pick the next one, buddy. I
Third
promise.
person.
All right, here we go.
Wait, where's Kevin's face?
Oh, that's a different mermaid.
Oh, you wanted that's not the Kevin's not. He's a merman.
That's what I said, merman.
Oh, I missed it.
What movie is that from?
Can you
That's
spare
Yvonne's.
Zoolander.
Can you spare
Oh,
a square?
square. Yes, I
That's
do
a good
like
one. Nope, can't do it.
that.
No do-overs.
They're real and they're spectacular.
Hi guys, and the people in
Dolphin.
the chat. I saw you people
He sees you, people.
in the chat.
Soon he will be out here every week. He only has 2 more weeks of school. He's out here now because his sister's not home yet. Yeah, only 2 more weeks.
Then we're gonna get
And
you
he
a
will-
worker's permit, bud.
I know. Put him to work.
No.
He has chores.
Nah,
He's
just do
been
the
getting
combo.
the eggs from the chickens and picking up the peaches that fall off the tree. That's been his chores.
Nice.
That
The
sounds like
eggs are new.
lunch.
The eggs are new.
The eggs is a new chore because the rooster got him once, so he really didn't want to go in there, but he's being brave.
I thought they needed water at first, but they needed food.
They-
Like
That
kept
sounds like me and my baby.
coming right up to us. Right up to me.
Okay, let mommy read the question. Wendy says, can you give some listing tips for albums that are in good condition and fairly rare? However, the album cover has a substantial wear and circle pattern. How far down in the price range would you go down for the album cover having wear?
Well, it depends. Obviously, like I've never sold an album before on eBay in my life, but I would tell you that, you have to look at other listings and solds. So, for example, some albums are going to have more value based solely upon the cover, right? Some people want the albums because they love the sound of vinyl that they can't get in CD, tape, MP3, and so forth. So you really need to know what the particular album's price is being put out there based upon. Is it based upon the artwork or is it based upon the album itself? Because some albums are going to be rarer. But, I mean, I would imagine the best case scenario is you would just take a picture of every corner of the album, front and back, and then, list it and put on best offers and list it high. And if nobody buys it, you take an offer and then you sell it that way. That'd be my suggestion.
Yeah, I've never sold albums either, but I would use the same strategy I use for everything else. Is I look at something that's the best condition, and then or look for something similar to your condition, and then you should be able to judge the price on that. That's what I do with most of my stuff. Like if I know I can tell that something's bad, and I'm gonna assume. I mean, I don't know anything about records, but I would assume most people probably buying them for the artwork. So if it's not in good shape, I would price it kind of low to move it, and then if you know what you have, I mean, just like everything else, if it's really nice, I'm gonna price it up and wait for the right buyer.
So some people do frame them and put them on the walls for the artwork. You know, that is a big thing too with records. What I would do is I would search from highest to lowest, and I would look through the comps and look for ones that had similar condition as mine and just price it accordingly, pretty much. So, but you know, make sure that you show great photos of the actual vinyl record, since it's going to be that's in great condition. So that's going to be the selling point for you, especially if the cover looks bad.
Yeah, and I've sold some, but not a ton. I would think too that like the artwork's a main reason that a lot of people buy. So I would probably be at the lowest of the price range if it were me, because I feel like most collectors are displaying to. I might be wrong. I don't know that much about them.
That was me typing.
I told them it was you typing. All right. Miss Susan said, do you have a recommendation on a scale to weigh jewelry? Also testing kits for silver and gold.
I got my scale from the neighborhood liquor store. Very, very simple, easy done. They use it to weigh a lot of things here in the hood, but it works perfect for jewelry. And testing kits, I don't have one. I really am, as I've gotten more into finding silver and gold, that is something that I really want to do. But I usually just go based upon the stamp and, you know, let's rock and roll. But my mom is a big jewelry person, so if I have like second guessing myself, I'll ask my mom. But yeah, I think they sell a bunch of those kits on Amazon, but I would just be careful. Like, there's one thing my wife told me is you always read the reviews, because make sure you read the reviews, because you don't want to get one of them bootleg kits and then it's like you rub a rock from your garden on there and it comes out like 10 karat gold. You know what I'm saying? So definitely want to be review watching on something like that.
Yeah, I have a stupid question. Is there like a I don't know anything about. I'm gonna say I don't know a lot about any of this stuff. Is there a special scale for jewelry? Or
there is. You want a scale that does grams accurately.
Okay.
Is what you want.
Okay.
The best test is to put a dollar bill on your scale. Dollar bill weighs 1 gram. So that's the rule of thumb for me. I use it. Is dollar bill weighs 1 gram.
And I have nothing to offer else for that.
Me either. So I sent to Kat.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Kat's a jewelry seller, so she's the perfect person to answer this one.
Yeah, I mean, I can send you one. I just have like a generic one off Amazon, but I agree with reading the reviews on Amazon for sure. And same thing for the testing kit. I wanted to put this up because Kelly said, can you trust the magnetic route for sterling silver? The answer to that is no, because a lot of plated stuff will not be magnetic and be marked and it's still plated. But I will also tell you, I don't test all my sterling silver. I also go like Tim, buy the mark, but I buy 95% of my sterling from very reputable online estate auctions that do test it. I think they're crazy, but they test it. So the answer is no. But hopefully if you're buying regular from someone, like my 2 main auctions both test sterling.
I haven't seen a triple beam scale in a long time.
A triple beam, yeah.
That's been a long. They're going old school there. Dan, do you know what a triple beam scale is?
I think I saw it in a cartoon. Honestly, I don't know. When you said, I feel like is the one that goes back and forth. And
Yeah. You have officially become co-hosting the hot seat now. I'm gonna hot seat you after I get hot
These are
seated.
tough questions. I'm a bad reseller. Oh God.
Trash Cat Rescue says, what would you ship a cast iron tree stand in? It's vintage and beautiful, but I have no idea how to ship a super heavy item.
Super easy. Cheez-It box all the way. Just make sure you use really good tape and you'll be fine as long as you put it in a Cheez-It box. That's my go-to for cast iron tree stands. I'm assuming that this is like a cast iron, like a Christmas tree stand. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Right? Like a Christmas tree stand. Yeah. I mean, you just got to put it in a box. Just make sure you listen. The Tim method, always bulletproof. Okay. You wrap it in paper first. Then you wrap it in small bubble. Then you get the good big bubble. I got the good big bubble. You know, there's a few things I'm bougie about in my life. Q-tips. I can only use real Q-tips. I can't use bootleg Q-tips. I got to have Charmin toilet paper, Hellman's mayonnaise, and real good big bubble wrap. If I can, those are the only things I'm bougie on. Everything else I will be very bootleg. That's perfectly fine. But just make sure you do all of that and use the padding is what's important inside the box. You want to be able to nest it. That way it has to go through the nest in order to break through the box with the weight. So that's you just want to make sure you nest it when you put it in the box with all that stuff. But that would be my recommendation outside of the Cheez-It box, of course.
I'm just gonna go with Tim here. Really sturdy box, because I was gonna say wood crate, but that seems a little drastic.
Yeah, the very drastic wood crate. What are we? We're not shipping guns to Morocco, bro.
It's just a sturdy. You gotta have a heavy sturdy box. Maybe
I'll go with Tim's answer. I'll send you, Kat.
I just make sure that it's a sturdy box, you know, because there's cheap boxes and there's good boxes.
I was looking at mine because I have cheap box.
Yeah, don't use Walmart boxes. Whatever you do.
Either.
Don't use a cheap box. Like the boxes that like my dog food comes in for Amazon, I bet would hold that.
Oh.
I would put extra tape.
Like chewy boxes?
Chewy boxes because they hold dog food. Dog food's heavy.
Yes, very good point.
That's a 50-pound
idea.
bag of dog food.
I just always put extra tape on the outside.
I get dog food from Amazon, and they send it in like a paper thin box, and it falls apart.
See, mine doesn't. My Amazon dog food box, like we use that for a lot of heavy stuff.
I think the last time they sent it in a poly bag.
What?
You cannot ship a cast iron tree stand in a poly bag.
No, I wouldn't do that either.
I want an exclamation point.
Everyone's selling like good stuff. I sell clothes. I have poly bags.
And you could always double box it, you know, but I do like Tim. We do small bubble, big bubble on like everything.
Yeah. Double boxing is the biggest waste of time in the world. I don't
not if a cast iron thing's gonna rip through one box.
If your cast iron is ripping through one box and your one box is not good enough, get a better box.
You have to. Sorry, Dalton's trying to learn to type while we're live.
But Mom, how do I do it?
You
gotta get him a Mavis Beacon program. Dan knows about Mavis Beacon.
No, I know. I don't know what it is.
Everybody, that's how you learned how to type back in the day, was Mavis Beacon.
I didn't know that's what it's called. I used to go to typing class.
I went to typing class too.
It was like 6th grade. It was like 3rd period.
How do you remember? I do not remember all that. I'm not going there.
I bet you your teacher was very good looking. That's why you remember it.
Oh yeah, pool noodles is a good idea. Pool noodles.
Pool noodles.
Oh, that's a good idea.
What?
Can you just stick a label on it? That is like, I know there are certain things you can just stick a label on. I don't know that I would stick a label on a cast iron. It wouldn't stick. I don't think I'd do that.
You could stick a label on me.
No one wants to do that. Return the sender.
Lisa,
that's the stick we need.
We started way early today. in left field. Lisa wants to know, do you ever listen to videos at 1.25 speed because the content creator talks too slow?
I listen to a lot of videos in 2 times speed. I don't know what 1.25 is. I do a lot of
2.5.
I didn't even know there was a 1.25. I thought it was just like 2, normal 2.
No, it's like it goes 1.25 and then 1.2, 1.5 and then 1.75 and then you go to 2.
I do 2 because not because the person talks slow, but because I'm trying to get through it as fast as possible because like my brain is working on like crazy time frames. Yeah, so that's why I do it.
I don't do it on everything, but yeah, 1.25 I'll use. I'll go up to 1.5 if I try it, and because if they're talking, if I can understand it. A lot of times I can't understand it.
Yeah, I would not suggest watching me in 1.25.
For me, I don't, but I know a lot of creators do. There's a lot of people out there that watch a lot of reselling content that will, especially if it's like a flipper video or a podcast, they put it on a faster speed just so they can get through it and get more content.
I do not, because I honestly don't watch very many videos. Marsha's asking, does a channel creator get full credit for the watch hours if you do it faster? You would, but it would be less hours because they'd watch it in 75% of the time. So it would just be less minutes.
That's a really good question. Actually.
Oh, that is a good question. I don't know how that
it would just make the video shorter. So like an hour-long video would be 40 minutes, I think, if my math is right.
I don't know. I have to. And then on Spotify, I'm listening at 1.2.
Are you listening to No Bangers podcast on Spotify?
No, I'm listening to Tom Segura on Joe Rogan.
It's not what.
Well, are you even subscribed to No Bangers Sports Park podcast on
probably not on Spotify?
Come on, Dan, get it together, dude.
I listen on the YouTube.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you should subscribe to Spotify too.
Okay, I'll do it right now.
Thank you.
Sorry.
It's so funny because like Julian, when he was on here, Julian naturally talks so fast, and I'm like, dude, slow down. And he's like, this is just how I talk. And I'm like, slow down. And yeah, he never did. Okay. Dalton is distracting me with his typing. Mary Jo said, I have 20 Pillsbury Doughboy spice holders, but not the entire set. Should I list individually or would you list as a set with the missing ones? And if individually, would you do it on 20 separate listings?
What's the comp?
Say it for anything. If you have an incomplete set, what do you do?
Yeah, so like this is the thing. It depends on what the comps are, right? Like sometimes I won't buy something if it's an incomplete set if the money isn't there. And then it depends on how big the set is. Like 20 is a lot. Like I mean there's spice holders. I don't know. But like I don't like. I would stay away from sets in general because it's a pain in the rear end to have to ship stuff like that, right? So like it has to be. You have to put it into the Tim algorithm of time and space and money, and then see if it works out for you. But I mean, a lot of people sell stuff that have incomplete sets, especially like older stuff when like it's impossible to find a complete set. Then sometimes it's better to list it individually because people are looking for replacements to complete their own set. So it really just comes down to how much, $10 to $25 each. I would just list it as a set at that point. Yeah, I'll just list it as a set and say one is missing. And you have to do a little bit of research too and see what the other listings are like. But incomplete sets get listed all the time. You just really need to know what works best for you between money, time, and space. Dan.
I'm looking.
Dan lists one shoe at a time, so yes, he is all about listing incomplete
sets.
Look,
depending on what it is. If you, to be honest, if it's gonna take a while. If it's $10 to $25 a piece for each of them, I almost want to list them individually. But if it's the one I just looked up real fast, is there 24 of them? And like I didn't look at sold, but they're like listed for 300. There's like 200. If you have 20 of the 24, I would probably just list it and then just knock whatever it is. 10, like if you're missing 4, knock $40 or $50 off, and then just list it.
For me, if I had an incomplete set, first thing I would do is go look to see what it would cost me to complete the set.
Replace it.
Because
That's a good
sometimes you complete the set and it will add extra value to it because it is a pain in the ass to go out and find each individual piece throughout the process.
I just
But if
did
they're, I
that.
mean, if they're anywhere from 10 to 25, if those ones are in the cheaper end, I'd probably buy those, make my complete set, and then list the complete set.
The OC. All right.
This is not because it sells for like $30, I think. So this is, but it's missing just disc one of. It's got the whole series. It's missing disc one.
So you buy disc one for like $5.
I bought this one, but the only problem is I'm gonna still list it, but it doesn't look the same as the others. Like it's not the same.
So you'll just have to put a note.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But that's what I did. Like, so and I'm gonna list it lower. It's not the same thing, I understand. But you guys are very, like, way better resellers than I am. I'm out here struggling. It's all in the OC. Sorry.
So for me, the ones, what does the full set sell for, Dan? Since you just looked it up.
Well, I was only look at they were listed. I didn't look at the solds. If that's the one, that's like 13. I don't see one that's 125. It had 22 jars.
Okay, so for knowing that, I'm going to list the $25 ones by themselves. I'm going to look them up. If they sell for 25, I'm listing those individually, and I'm putting three $10 ones together to get 30.
Oh, that's good.
That's what I would do.
That's smart.
Then you get more money and not have to ship all of them.
We'll just give her 3 separate answers on what to do. So now
So
you gotta figure out.
That's the beauty of it.
Do what you want. Do what you want.
I like that idea. Because then you're not having to ship it all in one thing either.
I don't want to ship 16
Right, I don't want to ship that big old thing
together. Yeah,
just ship them.
I don't want to. All right, Clay has been a member for over 3 years, which is incredible.
Wow.
And he had to use his message to ask Tim if he's had any pico de gallo. I gotta hide and send Dalton to bed. I'll be right back. Tim, talk about pico de gallo.
God, that's a throwback there. How you doing, Clay? Good to see you, bud. Yeah, there was a Pico de Gallo incident many years ago. It's kind of crazy to think about how long ago that was. I do love me some Pico de Gallo, though. You like Pico de Gallo, Dan?
Yes, I love Pico de Gallo.
Pico de Gallo is like, it's kind of like Old Bay. You could kind of pretty much put Pico de Gallo on anything, right?
Uh-huh.
What do you put Pico de Gallo on your cheeseburger?
I mean, you could. If you're having a quesadilla burger.
What about Pico de Gallo on your Pico de Gallo fried chicken?
You could.
Pico de Gallo on your eggs?
I was going to say eggs. That's the first thing I was thinking of.
Yeah. Pico
Okay,
de Gallo
Camille
and peanut
said
butter?
Dalton's mad at me because I sent him to bed, but it's a school night, so he left mad at me. All right, Camille sent a $2 super chat. I'm going to play, since Tim didn't specify the mermaid that he wanted, the mermaid. I meant the merman. He said he did, but I heard mermaid. Here's Kevin.
Can you get that?
There we go.
Who makes those for you? Can you get that remade and have someone use the picture of Bill Belichick and his girlfriend and put Kevin's face on his? You know what I'm talking about?
Did Norm from Cheers die?
Aw, I didn't know that.
Who's that?
Just today.
That's the mailman?
George went. Norm?
Norm.
Yeah, no.
He's the mailman?
Yeah.
No, the big guy.
Oh, the
Cliff's the mailman.
that's right, Clifton Millen. Yep.
Patty, I don't know why. Does anybody know why like a channel membership would keep dropping off? I have some that like I've been a member of for years and it's never dropped off. The only thing I could think of is like if a credit card expires or something. I put mine all on PayPal is what I do.
Oh.
So I do not know. All right. Lala wants to know, she said her sales are slow. I'm going to assume online. So she wants to know if any of us have tried selling at flea markets.
So I used to do one of the premier flea markets in this area. I used to sell at the Georgetown Flea Market. I was actually featured in the Washington Post, and it was awesome. and then COVID hit. And so that was like more of a high-end flea market and a little bit different than your traditional flea market. But I know like Cernock and Leroy, my co-host on Reseller Information Network every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both of them sell at flea markets. I mean, I've done yard sales before, like when it's just kind of time to purge and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just, once again, I'm a big time sort of, guy. So it's like, you got to think about what it's going to cost you for the space, how much time it's going to take you to unload, to pack your car, unload, set up, pack everything back up that you didn't sell, so like you just kind of have to think about it strategically. But it's definitely a good option. I mean, you could also, apply to sell on any of the platforms in the Dibdit verse. That might help you get a little bit of a leg up on slow sales too, if you want to do some live selling. So yeah, that's my answer.
I was going to suggest the live selling or just cross listing in general. Or the other thing I do is, I mean, when I have slow sales, it's usually my fault. Yep. It's like I'm not doing something, so I list more, and then if I feel like I'm listing and I should be selling stuff, then I'll cross. I'm very bad about cross listing now. I used to be more on top of it, but cross listing or then try the live sales. But I mean, flea market. I mean, that's just the same thing. If you want to, I wouldn't want to take all my stuff to the flea market. Like I just wouldn't. Like it just doesn't sound fun to me. But anything to get sales going.
So growing up, my dad used to have a hauling and tree service business. So we used to go to flea market a lot, just take stuff to unload it. And they had an auction at the flea market. But flea market's a great thing to go. I will tell you this. If I would ever step again at a flea market, I would have the philosophy is what I'm bringing is I'm coming back with nothing. So I'm going to take everything there because I don't want to load it up because it is a pain to load it up. I watch these sellers go there set up for 2-3 hours and I'm spend an hour loading up, an hour, unpacking everything and pack it all back up. That's too much work. So
imagine doing that with glass.
Yeah, I see them. I know. I see them do that. So for me, if I'm going there, I'm going to blow stuff out. So I'm going to go there, put everything out there, and I'll literally have a sign and my prices will drop as every hour. Some items might start at $10-15. Let me tell you, hour 2, hour 3, those things are done 5, 3, 4, 2, 1. Then it's going to be free. Just take it because I don't want to bring anything back.
Yeah, I think I would have the same philosophy, to be honest. Like, I had that philosophy when I did my yard sales. Like, I'm not bringing this crap back in the house. I left it all out, put a post on Facebook, come get it. You have to take it all. It's free at the end of it. Like if I move it out, I want it gone. I have not done any because I like my weekends. And it's funny, I put out my video last week that our sales were like the crappiest they've been in years, and then we had a $1,200 day the next day. So they're back up. But if they had stayed down, like we also started doing live selling again. We're doing live selling 3 to 5 days a week on Whatnot. We is not me. My employee is doing it. So she's been selling jewelry every day. So I would try doing that too. That's why I love jewelry for live selling. Because like we sold, I don't know if you can see it. She sold 150 pieces today on Whatnot that are back there for shipping in the morning. And she's been doing at least $500 a day on Whatnot with lower, like $3 starts. So not too bad. And yeah, we're back on Whatnot. It's not me though. It's Shannon. But she knows her stuff, so she's good. I actually moved the Whatnot room out of the house. It's in here now. I was like, and my daughter's like, why? And I'm like, so we actually have a spare room, but nobody ever comes to stay. That's why she's like, Mom, why do you even care if it's out of the house? Because nobody ever comes and stays with us. I'm like, well, we'll have a guest room in case we ever have a guest, which we don't. But I would do the flea market. If you need the money, I would do it. I would see though, if you think it's going to be regular, like mine has some booths that have like storage behind them that you could lock up. Cause then you wouldn't have to give the stuff away free. You could rent the booth for like a month, for each weekend and get the storage with it. And then like the packing up and unpacking is what would get me too. Like I would not want to like load and unload my truck twice a weekend. They're like, no. All right. I just want to put this up here. Wendy's. Whoa, me and did we both click? Both click.
I don't know what happened to other questions. I don't know. Go ahead. Go back.
We went through them. Ask questions, people. Wendy, I just want to put this up here. She said she had her best weekend, $265 plus shipping on 2 items, which is good. That's a great average there. Yippee.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Charmaine said send offers now that send offers eligible is gone. Is there a way to send offers one item at a time? So I'm gonna do a share screen. Hold on, I'll do a share screen because eBay just changed where crap is all they did. So like if you look here, like mine's still on the front page says, let me make it bigger. It still says listings eligible to send offers. Like but when you get here, it just looks different. And then you can just hit send offer on one. I would love for this thing to sell. That's we
should send an offer right now, Kat. Send an offer.
Watch this too. Watch what I'm doing. Peace out. 55% off. I'm and I talked about in the video today, and it's still in the same place on the phone too. I have to get unattached to my inventory. And I think I have a problem with that. And like that, if you guys didn't see, was listed in December of 2023. So it's been listed for 1.5 years. So yeah, I'll take 55%. I put sales on all my license plates for 60% off. At the end of that, I think we're going to pull them down, run them on Whatnot. I saw several people were selling license plates on Whatnot. So I figure it's worth a shot. And I'll have backup and list perfectly if I decide I want to, but I'll probably, what doesn't sell on Whatnot, I'll probably put in lots on Commons is honestly what I'll do. But I did like my designer boxes. I've had them 2 years. I put them at 60% off and I'm taking offers. Like why? Like I'm already thousands and thousands of dollars in the profit on this stuff. Why do every penny I make on that stuff is profit. So I've had it forever, let it go, rather than like everybody always asks, like, when do you pull it down and donate it? Why not put it at 60 or 75% off and get something for it? That's what I'm looking at it as. Yes, my Whatnot is the nurse flipper. Yes. But yeah, so I'm blowing stuff out. All right, Camille sent a $2 super sticker. I hate that. I wish we could see the super stickers on here, but we can't. I'm going to do the whale. Here you go.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All right. And I, in 5 minutes, have to go tuck Dalton in, or he'll be calling my phone. All right. I'm going to save that for when I have to go because I feel like you guys will talk about that. Valerie said she has a great 80s Napa Valley map print. She picked up in an estate sale that's framed. The glass was broken. It's a 14 by 16. Would you replace the glass, list it as the print and frame, or remove it from the frame?
You gotta tell me how much. Like, I need to know how much these things are selling for because I've gotten to this point in my reselling career where I'm very anti-project. So it's like if you want me to be reframing and reglassing and all that stuff, like it's got to be like $1,000. $1,000 and I might replace the glass and all that stuff. Outside of that, I mean, just chuck it in the bucket and list it as the paper and move on because you got to think about how much. I'm going to repeat this a lot tonight, but you got to think about how much time it's going to take you to do that and how much money are you going to make from that time, because that's really, you need to start putting a value on your time, because what we do as resellers, like, time is money. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but it's so true, because we only have so much time in a day to do all these things. So do you really want to spend like driving to Michael's and getting glass and then coming back and then like paying all, like it's a lot. So I would just sell it as the piece of paper and move on.
I'm gonna agree with Tim, and then it's Red Cardinal Treasures just said, "Can it be rolled up?" I would take it out of the frame. So I don't know anything about whatever that is that you're selling, so take that with a grain of salt. But I'm trying to learn not to do projects. I bought projects forever, and they ended up just making a mess, and I ended up getting rid of them. I don't want to do that. So I would. Sorry.
Yeah, I used to sell a lot of like autograph memorabilia and like posters and other stuff. You can see one like behind me up on the wall there, the Gremlins posters autographed. What I would do is I would frame them, take photos of them, and then unframe them and roll them up and put them in, ship them in tubes because they are so much easier to ship not being in frame. And a lot of people want to use their own custom frames or they frames that match what else they already have at the house and stuff like that. So for me, I'm going to sell it just to print because it's going to be a lot easier for me to deal with. And then the person who gets it can do whatever they want with it.
So she said it can be rolled up to, but she hates to since it's been framed and it's flat. So me personally, that's a small frame. I'm going to sell it with the frame. I'm going to leave it in there and sell it with the frame.
With the glass, broken glass?
Yeah, it's broken glass though.
You take the glass out though. Like, I'm assuming you wouldn't leave like, I'm happy when I bust the glass because I'm like, yeah, now I don't have to pack it with glass. And then I just photograph it without the glass. And I've done it multiple times.
Oh, okay.
But as long as it doesn't damage the painting or whatever's in there, I don't care.
Then it depends on the frame, right? It depends on the frame because some frames are more valuable than the print that's actually in the frame.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very, very true. But like, if it's a halfway decent frame, if the frame's worth more, then you're gonna pull it, sell the frame, and then sell it as a piece of paper. But like 14 by 16 is not big. That's an easy ship.
Yeah, that's a bar mirror.
And then I'm gonna let them have at your card question. Kelly said she has access to 150 vintage frames and more. Do you know anybody to contact about the value? If you can. Like, if you can buy them, I would buy them and just comp them. And if you get them cheap enough, sell them. I'm going to let everybody else answer, and then they can answer your sports cards. And I'm going to go tuck Dalton in, so I will be back.
All right.
I got a frame guy.
You got a frame guy?
I got a frame guy.
All right. Here's our buddy Jimmy from Old School Flips. We've got 3 sports card experts here. How do you decide when it's time to get a card graded? How do you evaluate the condition yourself before sending it in? Or do you evaluate the condition before you send it in?
I'm burn and turn. That's the big problem with me. Like I don't have the time and the luxury to sit on a card and wait for the grading process. If it was a situation like Rod with the Genty and Carrie with the Caitlin Clark, that's a little bit of a different situation. If you have people that you trust, like I have a card shop that I trust where the only time I've graded through them, and so like, and that was before the pricing is kind of crazy. So you really need to do that. You need to evaluate the price it's going to cost you to grade the card versus the value of the card if it gets graded. And you need to look at the condition based upon if it's ultra modern, it has to be a 10. Unfortunately, that's just the way that the market is right now. If it's a vintage card, a medium grade, like a 6 could be potential big payday. So it's really just on a case-by-case sort of basis. But I don't personally do a lot of grading because I don't have the time to wait for it because I need to sell the cards to reinvest into more cards.
This is going to surprise everyone, but I don't know much about this either. But there's...
Dan, you're doing your best Leroy impression tonight.
I'm just saying, like,
you're selling yourself short.
Well, I have graded. I've graded cards one time. At one point, I was going to buy cards cheap, grade them, and then resell them. But that takes time.
Were you watching Eric Michael? Is that who made you thought that was a good idea?
It's 2020 because I was buying cards. I would buy cards, and then I would buy cards for $1 or $2. But then I sent them into SGC, which is one of the grading companies. And at the time, they were $15. And then at the time I was getting ready to do it, they raise the price to $25 a card, and then the cards, by the time I get them back, they're not worth what it costs to grade them. So personally, I don't. If I'm buying a card for me, I would just buy it graded so I can get the grade I want. And then when it comes to looking at it, I'm not good enough to judge how it is, but there are people who will look at your cards and help you tell you like what they think that it would get, but it costs a few dollars to do that too, until you learn. But it's also if you the guy you guys introduced me to, Gaby Card Stacks, he's learning how to grade, and he's just kind of, it's trial and error. He's like he's sending cards in and getting back and then seeing what they have. But like some cards you can see aren't going to be good, but sometimes I don't see that stuff. So I just sent stuff in blind, and then I got it back, and I didn't get tens. I got like nines and stuff. So like I don't mess with it. I just rather just like Tim, just turn and burn.
All right, so I do a lot of grading over the years. Yeah. And this, what I'm about to talk about, it will cover sports cards, Pokemon cards. This will also cover comic books. This will also cover VHS, video game grading, pretty much anything that you're going to get grading. So when you look at a card, here's the thing. There's 4 things they grade: the corners, the edges, the surface front and back, and then the centering of the card. And then what you want to do is, when you do it yourself, you want to evaluate your card, what you think it's going to get on all those things, write down a piece of paper, divide that before, and that's what the grade you should get. All right. So before you grade anything, I recommend that you actually write down all your grades of the cards that you're going to submit, because when you do get them back, then you know that if you need to do more research or if you're pretty much on point, that will give you the confidence to keep doing it. So this way you have a starting point. I would say when you go to grade a card, once you grade a card, so let's just say if this is a Warm Moon rookie card. Let's just say this card is a $10 card. And if I get a PSA 10, this may be a $300 card. Or if I get a PSA 9, it might be a $50 card. So it's going to cost me $20 to get this graded. So when I look at this card, I'm going to look at what is the lowest possible grade I think I can possibly get, and then see what that card is going for graded or selling for graded. That's how I determine if it's worth me doing it. So if I can't, usually 4 to 5 times my money, it's not worth me spending the $20 to get in there, because, grading is a numbers game. If you send in 1 or 2 cards in, you may get bad grades. So when I submit cards, I submit, 20 to 30 at a time. And I'm hoping to get a couple 10s. I'll probably end up getting a couple 9s. I'll probably get a couple that are going to be below that. Some I'm going to lose money on, some I'm going to break even, but I'm working on the rule of averages. So if you submit enough things at one time, then you will be fine. And when you do that, same thing does apply for Pokemon. It is a lot of trial and error. I will tell you this. That's just like Dan said. So what I would recommend doing is I would do a sample size first. I would do maybe 4 to 5 cards your first time you submit, to kind of write down, kind of see what you think those grades would be, submit it in. And then when you get them back, then I would go round 2. Then you can, if you were pretty much on point and the cards came back good grades, then you can submit a bigger sample size. There's also companies that you can go through. There's one called Got Baseball Cards. They're in Georgia. They're a bulk submitter. You just ship them your cards. They will actually look at your cards before you submit the PSA, and they will let you know. They charge you a $2 rejection fee. So if they think that this card should not be graded, they will literally send you an email.
Will charge me to get rejected?
Dude, but instead of spending $20,
joke, man.
No, man. Instead of spending $20, it's well worth it. I've used their service, man. So, I submitted them 25 cards, and they sent me an email, 1 card. They literally put it in a piece of plastic, and they circled the areas on the plastic where the stuff I missed, because, I'm human and it does happen. And I ended up telling them to hold that card back and not submit it. Save me $20. I just paid them a $2 fee. Also, too, you want to get a microfiber cloth. Wipe the cards down before you submit it there, because you will get fingerprints that will show up on the cards.
Get yourself a microscope, too.
Yes, microscope.
Digital microscope. Spend about $10,000. Great investment.
No, you can go to Amazon. You can get like a little magnifying glass and stuff like that. I highly recommend getting one of those. And also, too, the best light to look at it. A lot of people think it's bright light. It's actually dark light. So you want to actually use dark light to look at it. And then when you have your card, you turn it in different angles like this, because in different light in different positions, you'll see indentations, stuff that you just totally miss. So it is a long process. I will tell you. For those that want to go into grading, I got a lot of people ask me, should I get this graded? It's, as Tim will say, sometimes it's just better and easier to sell it raw, because if you do sell it raw, you can make a quick flip. When I submit cards to PSA, it's sometimes a 3 to 4 month turnaround. And if that player gets hurt, if that player goes in a slump, that card I submitted 3-4 months ago may not be worth what I thought it was going to be worth. It came back at a high grade. That does happen too. So you just
Did you talk
never
about
know.
the weight too? Because then you got to wait to get the money for it too. If you have to wait for, I don't know how long the wait is. Like we got some Pokemon cards graded, and it took months and months, and then that value, like Rod said, like by the time it comes back, that value can go either way. So
Correct.
You kind of are risking that too.
Honestly, if when I submit cards, to be honest with you, I like to submit cards in the off season because there's nothing in the off season where going to affect them unless they're stupid and then
Yeah,
they get
I was going
arrested
to
for
say
something. Unless they get arrested
DUIs,
or
cocaine,
something.
strippers, a lot of things in the off
Massage
season.
therapist,
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, but there's a lot of things out there. So I would tell you this: if you ever want to submit cards to get graded, I would recommend going on YouTube, watch a lot of videos and stuff like that on there, and then use a third-party submitter. Yeah, maybe your local card shop in your area. Call them up, see if they're a PSA submitter, and you guys should take your cards there, and they can give you a second opinion. If it's most shops will do that, and we'll take a look at your cards and tell you if it's worth it to send in or not. So that's what I would recommend doing.
All right.
I want to
We
buy a
already
monocle.
did that one. Oh, did you see this one, Rod?
I did.
I
sent her a message.
did. You? Okay. I have somebody. Tell me what you guys would do. I have somebody, and I might go down. It's in Vero Beach, so it's 3.5 hours away from me. And she said she has a large Kiss collection. She said like hundreds of items from Kiss. And then she's got some glass and collectibles too. But I have no price. Like I have no basis of like how would you handle that? Somebody 3.5 hours away. She contacted me on eBay. Found me on, I'm like, my name's the same everywhere. That's what I tell everybody. Then they can find me to message me. And what would you do in that situation? Because she saw I have a $300 Kiss plate, collectible plate listed. That's been listed for 2 years, by the way. It has not sold. So what would you do in that situation?
I'd kiss it goodbye. I mean, like you just answered your own question, right? Like, you've had that.
But that doesn't mean her stuff won't sell. I don't know what she has.
What really sells from Kiss right now?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Action figures, records.
But for what? For what? What's the sell-through rate on Kiss stuff right now?
Okay, I'm gonna look.
I'm not a Kiss expert at that point where I can tell you the sell-through rate off the top of my head, but like I have sold a ton of Kiss stuff over the years. It does sell.
But I'm just saying, like right now, like, do you really want to?
39,000 listed. Hold on. 8,200 sold.
So 25%.
Yeah, hell no. I don't want anything to do with that. Nope, I'm good.
21.
That sounds like a lot of time and a lot of money wasted for a lot of stuff that's going to take up a lot of space and it's going to take 3 years to sell. I'm good. No, thank you. That's
Okay.
what I would. That's how you have to look at some of that stuff. Like sometimes it's like
that's why I'm saying. And
because-
it's 7 hours of driving.
yeah, hell no.
Plus the packing.
Yeah. I mean, Dan's obviously getting in his car, driving 3.5 hours and buying a Kiss collection, right, Dan?
No, there's. I have driven. This is. I don't know what they go for now, but I drove over an hour for a Guitar Hero, for 2 Guitar Hero guitars. That's the biggest thing I've ever done. And the guy
She
thought it was
also
crazy.
said a vintage Nintendo in games too.
Well, see, now you got Rod. Rod's in now.
I know Rod's like. I mean, I'll pass it to Rod. Rod's here too.
So one of my best friends actually lives in Vero and he goes there a lot. So I could
See.
There you go.
I mean,
so,
I can give you the email. I don't care.
So for me, I recently was in a situation where someone was in Orlando and reached out to me. So it was an hour and a half. I talked about this in the past, but an hour and a half each way for this. So I told them they needed to send me photos. I needed to take a look at the stuff. I've even done video chats with people before because you can use Instagram. You can video chat with people. I've done that. And then I also discuss price point. I said, okay, I am interested in, if I come here, what do you want for this stuff? And I tell them right off the bat, like, if I come down there, I told this gentleman, I come down there, I'm probably going to be around the 30% price point. I will pay up for your card stuff, or maybe some of the
I don't want to be above
Legos.
20.
But it depends what it is. I mean,
I'm a $1, $5 guy all the way. We all know that by now, right? Like I'm straight up honest with people. I'll be like, listen, look, I don't want to pay more than double digits for anything. Like $9 is like I'm capping it at $9. Once I get into double digits, you're gonna start losing me. Like that's just how I am.
Get it, man,
it works pretty good most of the time, you know. Like
I will tell you this, but that's to be able to level up your business, being able to have a private pick like this where you can go in there and just pick and buy the whole thing. Yes, you will get a lot of junk, but you can get good stuff that will quick pay for
She said it would be cheap. She's like, I want it gone. It will be cheap.
So it depends what
I don't know. I need to get pictures and talk more.
I would get picked.
Because I mean, for you, that's a 6-hour commute. You know what I mean?
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's 7. So that's 3.5 each way. So like for you must be getting that stuff like 10 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, what's your hourly rate?
Fit in my truck, and I have to rent something.
Yep. And then
that's like the boxes. But the boxes I made $20,000 on. So yeah, I'm fine going 4 hours down south and renting the biggest U-Haul there is, and getting them for $1 a piece. All right. BJB wants to know, how often do you buy items on eBay for your personal non-business use? What is the last thing that you bought on eBay? I had to look this up.
Man, good question.
I don't buy anything for myself. I have a wife and a baby and a business. I can't even tell you the last time I bought something for myself was like, a biggie bag at Wendy's. That's it. I haven't bought anything on eBay for myself. I have no idea. No,
I have bought myself. Since I got back into sports cards, I buy sports cards on eBay, and I just bought myself a autograph of Dan Orlovsky probably a month ago.
That's pretty cool.
It was numbered to 199. I want to collect guys. I'm a big Pat McAfee fan, so guys who come on the show, I try to get some card of theirs, but I don't buy. Before that, it was a few years ago. I bought a pair of slippers. I don't buy a ton of stuff for myself, but if I am looking for something now, if I don't find it thrifting, I'll look on eBay. I try to look on eBay or on other. Like Dibdit.
So here's the problem about being a reseller is we always have that saying in the back of our head that we can find it someplace.
Yeah.
And that we don't have to buy it. You know what I mean? I can find it. I'll find it out in the wild or come across it. For me, I looked at my thing and that I bought some cards, but I was going to open those up on my channel for content. So I won't consider that, even though I'd like to buy cards for myself. The last thing I looked through last thing I bought for myself was like 2 or 3 years ago. And I bought some sealed VHS. I bought a Hulkamania, a Ric Flair one, and I bought Friday the 13th. And I actually sent those off to get professionally graded, and I have those in my personal collection. So that's the last thing I bought for myself.
I had to look. So I just this past week bought sunglasses from one of you guys watching because I did a store review and I was like, oh, I love those sunglasses. And I put them on my watch list and she sent me an offer and I couldn't refuse. So I bought sunglasses from one of my viewers for me to wear. And then the thing before that was shampoo. So I use really expensive shampoo and the cheapest place to get it's on eBay. So I bought my shampoo and conditioner and then sunglasses.
I have bought stuff from like Dibdit shows though for myself. Like I bought a Redskins hat from Kevin. But eBay, damn. I mean, there's nothing. I can't find. I don't see anything.
I'm looking. I buy quite a bit. I bought a sprayer for the house, like a plant sprayer. I bought lotion. I bought a basket for I bought myself my Mother's Day present. I bought a Yeti on eBay for myself because it was the cheapest place to get it. Like I buy a lot on eBay because I'm big about like feed the hand that feeds you. And if it's expensive Like I asked for Dalton's big Christmas present last year was a Switch. I posted on Instagram and I bought it from one of you again. You know, if it's something big that I'm going to get used, I'll post on my social media. I'd rather get it from somebody that's watching me or watching the podcast and, you know, than just go buy from a random seller. I didn't think to ask anybody if they had a Yeti, but
I haven't bought anything on eBay except for cards and eBay boxes in over 2 years.
So I had to keep going back.
I bought so much. If you saw what I bought so much stuff.
I mean, I buy a lot off eBay, but it's nothing. It's always for like the business something else. But the last time I actually bought something for myself, other than the VHS, was in October 2021. I bought a dipstick because when I went to get my oil change, the guy never put the dipstick back in my car, so I had to buy one for myself. And then I bought myself a Where's Waldo costume because me and the wife dressed up as Where's Waldo and Carmen Sandiego. And then we went to this big big event for like Halloween, and they had a concert going on, and I snuck into the concert, me and her, and of course the security guards pulled me out of the crowd because I was dressed as Where's Waldo. And I kept telling the guy that he won the game, but he didn't find it funny. So
I'm going to tell a random fact because he's not watching and he'll kill me. Corey's middle name is Waldo. And Dalton always calls him by his full name, so it's really funny. And he's like, Dalton, please quit saying that in public. Please quit saying that in public.
You got to get him start saying, Where's Waldo?
But Dalton doesn't know that.
I know.
Like, so I'll have to get him some Where's Waldo books, and then he'll get it. All right, let me pick. I'm going to give you my original super chat, and Mark showed up. He right on time at 9:11. Here you go. Super chat. There is Mr. Mark, and Mark always wants Rod. So I will give Mark Rod. Here you go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
Don't do it. Do it.
That's Gimmick Infringement Cat. Don't steal my gimmick. She always wants to put the fist out.
I want to.
And now it just drives her crazy every week because I tell her not to do it. She just sits there and steams for about 2 minutes, and then she forgets about it.
All right. Vintage Vibes wants to know, this would be a good thing for somebody to invent if there's not one. Have you heard about a quick way to check sell-through rate on eBay where it does it for you?
No.
Is there something new?
Nobody does anything for you. You have to do it by yourself. It's the best way. For me,
you couldn't trust an automated thing that it'd be checking the right stuff.
No.
I feel like.
Because you know how it is. Like you put something in the search engine. I mean, you put something in the search bar on eBay. It's going to give you, there's going to be some variables in that search results that aren't exactly what your item is. You know what I'm saying? And like, you got to sift through all that stuff. So the best thing to do is just do, put it in your search bar. You see how many are listed and then click on sold. You see how many have sold and you do the math and you let the math do the math. That's it.
Tim said it great.
Yep, there's no easy way to do it that I know of. So
you just have to be really careful that you're comparing apples to apples because, like, I just looked at the number. Me and Trish were looking, and I was looking up bowling ball, and there were like 50 listed and like 100 sold. It said right, so 200% sell through. But when I went to look, it was car parts with the same name as a bowling ball, and there were no friggin' bowling balls actually sold. So really, the sell through rate was zero. Where if I would have just looked at the numbers and not used my brain, so eBay probably would have told me, or like an automated thing, oh, it's a 200% sell through, buy the bowling ball, and I would have been out of that money.
You would have had your bowling ball right next to your Kiss collection.
I put in the chat, I'm chomping on chips, so I keep muting myself because I didn't get to eat. And Brooke's like, yeah, Mom, I'll pick you up food. She's still over an hour away from home. I'll be done and able to go cook myself something by the time she gets here. Little weasel.
But what people don't realize, the eBay search is not very good. It just brings all kind of junk in there. Especially if you try to do the photo search. Photo search, it's going to pull up 8 million. I'm not even joking. Like 8 million.
Like it does not even remotely resemble it.
The first item may resemble it, and then the other 8 million had nothing to do with it. So
yeah. All right. BLB wants to know, how can I find a seller that wants to sell or buy my items?
Call Rod.
We didn't get the rest of this.
Call Rod. That's all you gotta do.
I do buy bulk, but no, don't call me. I got enough stuff.
You didn't ask her what kind of stuff.
He did. He was already in her DMs like 30 minutes before this question even came up.
You
It's
already
like
saw it,
items.
I know.
If you're not first, you're last, right, Rod?
That's right.
If you're selling like items, check Commons on the district app.
I would say check local. There's local Facebook groups for resellers in your area. I would probably reach out to them. If you go on eBay's website, they actually have in the community tab, they actually have an area by state, and you can actually find other reseller like official eBay meetups.
Oh man,
That would be a good start because you can find other resellers in there. I would post in Facebook Marketplace. I'd post an offer up.
Shopcommons.net. Dan had the best answer.
Yeah, Shop Commons. I mean, it depends if you're trying to sell locally or online to someone. But I mean, that would be probably where I would start. Local flea market, go around there and see people selling similar items that you want to sell. And
put an ad in your newspaper.
But yeah, you can put it on newspaper. You can do that too. But I would say this is a lot of people are going to want to sell your items for you. A lot of people are going to rather just buy out all your items to sell them because doing consignment is going to be a pain. You have to keep track of it. Make sure they're on point. I would highly recommend you just sell out your items. Don't try to consign them with someone.
Yeah, like I know me and Rod have talked about it. So like for me to consign, I want a $500 item. I'll consign anything $500 and higher for half. And I think a lot of people are going to be like that. There we go. She had an entire vintage shop inside the house and garage, and she's in Vegas. So there are a ton of Vegas resellers on YouTube.
When you say vintage shop, what type of items are you referring to? Like glassware? Are you referring to antiques?
Linens. Tell us what kind of vintage, because we might be able to point you in a direction. I know quite a few people in Vegas.
A lot of people that come on the show have actually resellers in Vegas.
Yeah, we have quite a few. I would say though, like if you're wanting it all gone, you might want to contact an auction house about doing a living estate sale. If you're not wanting, because all of the options, she said she's sick and needs to find help. So are you wanting to hire somebody to like list stuff? Because you could hire somebody to take photographs and list and ship for you. But if you're wanting to move it all, you could do a living estate sale and they could auction it off, but you're not going to get that value.
She's sick, so she needs help. Yeah, that's what she's saying.
I know. That's why, I don't know. Like, you could, again, I guarantee there's multiple Vegas reseller groups. You might be able to find somebody that would want to work for you if that's the kind of thing you're wanting and pay them by the listing. If you're wanting to keep it and get the most value out of it, but then you've got a payroll expense, so it really depends on what you want to do.
Also depends
as far as that.
If they need money right away too, or if they can wait over time. Because if you're going to need money right away, someone's going to probably come in there and offer you, for a private pick, the going rate's anywhere from 20 to 40.
She said all of the stuff you mentioned. She had a literal shop in California that was shabby chic.
Okay. Yeah, just keep in mind if someone comes in to buy out your stuff. Like Kat wants to be at 20%. I'm usually around like 30%. Depending what the items are, I will pay up for
$1.
Tim's at $1, so you don't even reach out to Tim.
Yeah,
Dan's
Dan
confused over here.
Dan doesn't know much about this stuff.
Dan's confused unless it's men's clothing or shoes.
Dan is shabby chic.
I was like, man, I haven't been on Cat Show in a while. I wonder what happened. I forgot the last time. I'm like the world's worst reseller.
Yeah.
Come on again, just to be reminded, Faith said she's an everything reseller, but not a sports girl at all. Google Lens, of course, but do you have any tips for her if she comes across a sports or Pokemon card lot to quickly know if it's worth her time?
If it's quickly worth your time, this is anything from 1975 to 1993. 95% of the time, it's not going to be worth your time.
I would go a little bit later than that, though. Man, that's 75 because if it's football, you can get like Rice rookies, Montana rookies, and that's gonna be
yeah. But I'm just like she's talking about quickly.
Yeah, quickly.
You know, like quickly, like that's just the thumb of rule because that's the junk wax era. 90% of that stuff is going to be junk.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not going to be worth your time. You know, so you want to look for, and then condition is a big thing too. Like if it's all just like thrown together and it just looks like crap, like Rod's fishing tackle box of cards that he got on the yard sale, like that's not going to be worth your time. And then if it's modern stuff, just you want to look for shiny, you want to look for patches, autos, numbered stuff. Outside of that, you just want to stay away from base cards because it's going to be a lot of work for little to no money.
Yes. Oh, yes.
When it comes to Pokemon cards, look for hollows. That's like a shiny card. You usually can get at least $1 a piece for those. You know, depending on the age of them, they could be worth a lot more. But I would say majority of the time, if you're coming across an estate sale, a garage sale, a flea market, 90% of the time it's going to be junk wax box air stuff. It's not going to be worth your time. It's people just trying to. They think their collection is worth a ton of money, and it's really not. You know, because that's what everyone was told in the 80s and 90s that you need to invest in sports cards. It's going to be huge. They overproduced them, and unfortunately, they had a market fallout. And now they're at the point where it's good. But I will tell you this: comic books, sports cards, it's a lot of work, and if you can get it cheap enough where you minimize your potential loss on it, and it's you take a calculated risk, then it's worth trying. And I would tell you this: I would literally go to my local card shop, local comic book shop, and bought out a mass collection, and just say, "Hey, I got all this stuff. Can you let me know if I have anything valuable worth it?" Because you go to one of those shops, they're going to quick look through it. And if you have something that does have value, they're going to make you an offer on it. That's how you know what you kind of pretty much have there. It's going to be the fastest way. But if you want to sit there and try to Google Lens every single card and go through, you're going to waste so much time with no profits at all. You're going to be losing money because that time you could spend listing on stuff that you actually know. So I tell people, if you do not want to continue to sell cards, I would be very careful buying them.
Yes.
Just to be.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Like the majority of them are not worth anything, and if you're not interested in it, there's really no point. Like if I came across like a big card lot, I would call Rod because I don't like them. Like I love sports, I love football, I love baseball, big fan, watch it like crazy, but I don't give a crap about cards. And it's like it's hard to learn and be knowledgeable about something you don't like. You have to have somewhat of an interest in it to learn it. And that's where, like I said, I would throw it at Rod and be like, hey, here's this contact, because he could look through it. I can't. Like he said, it would take me forever and ever to even like do anything with it. Where he could go and look and probably know, fairly quickly. But so you can't keep like all the profits. You can't, like, yes, I'm an everything seller, but I can't sell everything.
Correct.
I mean,
So,
I can, but
here's something quick to look at. If you see cards in the top holder, if you see autograph cards, or if you see patch cards, those are
one
instant
of
cards.
one. Watch for that.
Yeah, that.
I know that.
If you see cards that are in the cases like this is what we call a PSA holder. Okay, this is a graded card. They are going to have that. You can quick look these up. All you do is search the card name on top, PSA, and the number behind it. Look on eBay. You can quickly find comps. But what you want to look for, if the people there have something extremely valuable, then majority of the time they're going to be in top holders. They're going to be, protected because they know what they have. So I said that's a good way right away to tell if that's going to be a valuable collection or not. Now, granted, there's a lot of stuff in top holders from like the 80s and 90s that aren't valuable.
I was going to say, because I have a graded card here that this isn't worth much of anything.
Yeah, but still, man, it's still cool. If someone will pay $10 for that.
I tried selling this for $2 and did the cards. No one wanted it.
Oh, man, I would have bought that. I would have bought that for $2. I'll give you $2 for it, Dan.
I'll put it in my show tomorrow. I was like, I got it around here someplace.
But yeah, it's just one of those things. There's certain categories. You do. What's up?
I was just gonna say, like you had, like, if you told me this, Rod, was like you kind of paint, you interested in a little bit, buy it, take a chance, and like kind of pay for.
And then you learn as you go. Yeah,
It's an
if it's
education.
cheap.
Yeah,
you learn
that's what I've been doing, and it's a time suck. You waste a lot of time, but so if you enjoy it, it's fun. But if you don't enjoy it, you're going to be done in really fast.
Even though it's a time sucked in, you are invested in doing this long term. So you want to keep continuing to sell cars.
Oh, I enjoy it.
Yeah, you're enjoying it, but you're learning. I mean, how much have you learned? I mean, we've talked before. You've learned so much just in the last couple of months. In the last 6 months, you leaps and bounds. So I mean, you still got a long way to go, but like at the same point in time, is you're making great strides. So on the way.
Yeah. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate it.
Kelly said she sold a $300 Toomey carry-on. The buyer thought she was in Chino, California, not Chico, California. So the buyer wants her to cancel it so she can rebuy it with shipping instead of local pickup. Will she get a negative? I'm going to go ahead and answer and say no, she's not going to. So just let her cancel, rebuy, and put the shipping on, and you'll be fine. She'll be fine. She won't get, unless she regularly does that, and then she might get, but no. All right. Miss Linda says, if live selling is supposed to be the future of selling, how are you going to drive traffic to these websites? Right now, it seems like most of the buyers seem to be resellers.
This is a tough question. I think that, a lot of people have been asking for a long time. Like, you got to remember, I was the first person in the reselling community to be on Whatnot. And everybody thought I was crazy. Everybody thought I was crazy. And this is just Tim speaking nonsense and it's just a fad and all that. How many years are we now? And you have all the resellers and YouTubers and everybody is on Whatnot, and now we're all on District, right? It's a progression thing. Like you're going to go through these phases of live selling and everything like that. And it's like, yes, if some of the buyers are resellers, right? I don't care who the hell the buyer is, as long as the money's going into my bank account. You know what I'm saying? So, like, are you worried about who's buying it, or are you worried about how much it's selling for? And if you're worried about how much you're selling it for, then you need to worry about how much you're buying it for, because that's where the real answer to the question is. Now, as far as driving traffic goes, it's over time. Like, if you see... a lot of it is reliant on, if you're speaking in District, for example, and you're speaking on the Dibdit marketplaces, Antiquity, and all that stuff, right? A lot of it is on us as marketplace owners. And that's what we're trying to do, fueling it on social media. And I have business cards that I send out with all my other orders on other marketplaces to drive traffic to that website, and then a lot of it relies on the seller themselves. The seller needs... Like, some people think that you just put something up and it just sells and you don't have to do any work, right? Like, you have to put in the effort too. I mean, like, you don't necessarily have to have a social media following, right? You don't need a social media following to post your listing that's in a marketplace outside of eBay and put it on Pinterest. You don't have to have a following to do something like that, right? Like, you put out the information, you use hashtags. Hashtags are used as a search engine in certain, platforms. You got to do a little bit of the legwork there. So, like, is it easy? Absolutely not. But nothing in life is easy. Nothing in reselling is easy. So, like, it's just a matter of time and work put together to actually build these things up. I mean, you've seen some of these live selling platforms and these live selling individuals have built stuff up. Some people without social media followings. It just takes time. It just takes work. And I think you're starting to see a lot of that legwork pay off right now.
Yeah, that's awesome, Tim. I really enjoyed that.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
No, you said, the only thing I would add, you probably said it too. I might have just zoned out for a second, but it's just like it just takes time of people talking about it too. Like, when Whatnot came around, I had no interest in Whatnot at all, and I didn't even know what it was, to be honest. But then when you talk to just regular people too, some people don't even know what eBay is, right? Like, the kids and stuff, they don't know what eBay is. So, like, they know Amazon or whatever. Or, like, kids know Depop. Just talk to people and just talking about it. It gets it out there, and then it comes around, and it just like Tim said, it takes time.
So, a couple different things. One is, Resellers are early adapters when it comes to selling on different platforms and trying stuff out. And you go to YouTube, this is the community that you hang out with, the community that you watch. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of resellers in there. The resellers are also buyers. Resellers love to buy. I mean, I love to buy more than anything. I would go out and buy all day long if I possibly could. So you're going to see a lot of resellers that are buyers. That's just natural progression. If I was in a bowling league and then, when I talk to people at the bowling league, we're all going to have the same interests. Same thing with reselling. Like we all, we're on this platform to make money and go there and see, oh, this is cool. We can buy stuff here too. And this is a concept I think I don't understand why a lot of people can't wrap their head around this, because I get this question a lot about live selling is no different than any other business. If I had a brick and mortar, or if I'm going to be selling live, like I can't expect people just to show up to my storefront. If I had a storefront, I'm going to put billboards. I'm going to advertise in the newspaper. Maybe take a radio ad out. I'm going to have a social media account. I'm going to try to do whatever I can to get traffic into that store. Run discounts, run everything. Do giveaways, promotions. These live selling platforms are no different than doing that. For example, like we're doing. All three of us here sell on Dibbit. Kat sells on Knickknacks, sells on Whatnot. When we do our shows, like we're doing promotions. We give away stuff during our shows. We talk about it in our YouTube videos. We're trying to get people to go there. People that watch reselling content, say flipper videos, are going to be majority of the time are going to be other resellers. But when you have picking videos out there, people like the treasure hunt. Not everyone likes the business side of things. So you're going to get a lot of people that are just going to be non-resellers. They're going to watch people going picking because they like to watch American Pickers, they like to watch The Hunt. That's why they watch that stuff. So you're going to get a lot more buyers that are going to come for stuff like that. But it just takes, it's over time. Just like everything else, it's going to be word of mouth. You have to put out good products, offer good deals, and people can see that. They're going to go in there and if they see opportunities to buy stuff to resell, they will. But that also keeps them coming back. But it goes down to what Tim said is the most important thing is to get people to come to these platforms, you have to buy items. It really comes down to your buy cost, because if your buy cost is low, you can sell these items for lower cost on this. You can quick flip them, rinse and repeat, make more money in the long run. But these people know they're going to come in and get great deals. So they're going to keep coming back and be repeat buyers. And that's how you build up the business over time. Great Wall of China wasn't built overnight.
And I mean, the benefit of the district platforms like Dibdit and Knickknacks is we are using their social media following. We're not using ours. I saw very successful people and Whatnot that had no following. The reason they did good is they repeatedly brought good inventory. Yeah. Repeatedly. I knew if I went in their show, there was going to be good jewelry at a good price. It did 7 days a week. And they had no social media following, and they were selling more than I was with a big following. And I wish I knew where the heck they found it, because they had amazing friggin' jewelry all the friggin' time. So, and you can't, like, that's why I stopped live selling about a year ago, was because I couldn't find enough at a low enough price point at the quality that I wanted to maintain my buyers. And my buyers are resellers and they want it cheap. So if I couldn't find it cheap enough to sell to other resellers, I didn't have the collector buyers. I still don't. And it would take me building that up and probably alienating the majority of my viewers, not like on YouTube, but on Whatnot. Like if I'm coming in with a $20 start every day, with this really nice jewelry, I'm going to lose the majority of my reseller people. They want the lower, $5, $3 starts. So I would have had to do exactly what Tim said and built up a brand new audience for higher dollar jewelry. And I would sell less and make more. But like Rod said, you can make more. And I'm kind of doing a hybrid where, I'll go throw it on there at $3 if I got it for $1.50 or $2. I'm making a little bit, but we sell 140 pieces in one day. that I made my money
Yep.
back in a day, you know? So it's hard. But if you're going on the district platforms, I feel like you get to kind of skip that. You're still going to have to build up your audience to do good. Like Sam, Jolie Flips, they just do random pop-up lives. They don't even schedule them. And that's her business model. But everybody knows she always has good like pottery. She has good glass. She has good collectibles. They know when they come in there, they're going to get good stuff at a good price. She's in South Florida. She has amazing thrift stores, and she can find that stuff where me here thrifting, I'm finding dollar clothes. So I need to go to Threads and sell you my dollar clothes I find. But like one of the biggest complaints I think that I heard like over the years about Whatnot is it was almost like they were marketing to resellers versus marketing to collectors. And I mentioned that to them multiple times because I think if they went to like Vintage Bombshell, right? Like she is more of like an influencer as far as like what she's wearing, like stuff like that. If they went to like her, that her biggest thing isn't reselling and her 100,000 plus audience and paid her to advertise, I think we would get more collectors and more buyers, but then they can't get her to come in and sell because she's not like us having these mass quantities of stuff. So that's why they went to resellers, because we have stuff that we can, like I can do auctions every single day. I can buy, believe me, my friends, I can buy.
But I will say, Whatnot did do some cool things. Like they brought in celebrities. They did a bunch, did a bunch of giveaways. Like
I felt like that was mostly card and like you guys stuff centered.
Yes,
they didn't bring in celebrities that were collecting cool glass.
Well, they brought in celebrities.
Brought me in, Kat. What are you talking about?
He's one of the first Whatnot sellers.
Yeah. No, I mean they've done in the collectible thing in those marketplaces. You got to remember, like Whatnot was originally built as a collectible marketplace. They started out with cards and they started expanding out from there, comic books, other things. But I'm saying that over the years they have done these things to bring in new buyers. They have reached out to try to do that. That's one thing that it's cool about on District here is, and with Dibbit, that's something we're trying to do right now. We're trying to bring in more buyers to there. It's a process. It does take time. You have to have that balance because you only want to approve enough sellers to make sure that you have enough buyers to sustain that marketplace. So it's a constant struggle with that. But like on cards, we started doing card breaks on there. And what we do affordable card breaks that's starting at $1. And you can go bid in your teams, stuff like that. But people that are doing card breaks are going there to buy. They are buyers. So if you getting activity on the platform, you have people there hanging out, and you have maybe look at other stuff, and there's a trickle down effect. But no matter what platform you guys are on, you're going to have to do some type of marketing yourself to do that. You can't just decide to sell live and expect people to be there to buy your stuff. Like it's a process. Like it takes time to build it up, no matter where you sell.
Boom.
All right. Miss Marcella says a client from another business has a basement full of a variety of antiques and furniture. She asked how I sell, showed her the process. I told her 50%. Do you think 50% is reasonable for consignment? Is basically the question.
I'm not doing no consignment. I won't touch consignment with a 10-foot pole, 5-foot pole, 1-foot pole. I don't want nothing to do with consignment. I would suggest completely against consignment. Don't even entertain the idea. Nothing good comes from consignment ever. Boom, done deal. The consignment for family and friends is even worse. That's even worse. Don't do it. Do not do it. It is a bad idea.
I agree with Tim, but I also, to be transparent, I just consigned a hat this weekend. I sold a Stetson hat. A guy I buy from, I bought a bunch of stuff from him, and he asked me, he doesn't like listing clothes, and he had a few pieces of clothing that he wanted to list, and we split it 60-40. I get 60%. So I did it because he's hooked me up with a bunch of good deals and gives me free stuff. Like he'll just give me stuff because he doesn't want to mess with it. This like a Stetson hat he didn't want to just give me. He didn't want to mess with it, so I did it. But this is the only. I will never. I don't want anything to do with it. But I did it, and I did it like okay, I'll do it because it was easy. It was a very. I don't know why he didn't want to just do it, but I took it and I did it. I listed it and it sold in a day. So I did it. I made $70.
So I'm gonna agree with Tim, Kat, and Dan
me?
on this one. All right.
Okay.
Consignment is a pain in the ass. Plain and simple. It's a lot more work.
But that's our opinion.
But I get it. That's our opinion. I've done it multiple times in the past, and you take on a lot of liability. And I will say this: it's a lot of extra work that I could be listing those items myself, making money myself, doing stuff. I would rather buy it from the person than to consign it. Now, I will consign. I take that back. I will consign if it's a high dollar item. But I will tell you this, going forward, if I would ever consign, I would have a contract in place. It's a 90-day consignment. After 90 days, you're either getting the item back or we're going to discount it or what we're going to do with that item. I'm not holding on to items. You know, I'm going to get probably a 60-40 split, somewhere in that ballpark. It's going to be high dollar items. And, you know, I'm going to put something in place so there's no problems along the line because that's what happens. People are like, oh, only sold for this much. Why has my item sold? Have you listed my items? Like, it's a pain. Like, I list stuff for my dad, and I still don't like doing it. And then he asks, "Oh, did you list that?" I'm like, "No, like I got a ton of other stuff to do right now. Like, I'm doing this for you, but like I will do it for my dad." But I mean, I rather, and I've just bought it for my dad. I was like, I'll just give you cash for it. I didn't want to, you know, so you can just take the cash and just take it and go. But that's even for family. I feel the same way for family. Like, it's more of a hassle, and you take the liability. And then if you sell something, and then what happens to the item breaks in shipping? Now what are you going to do? You didn't insure that item. There's a problem with it. That buyer wants to return it. Now you've already paid out that person. You know, like it just opens. There's a whole nother rabbit hole you go down here. So you got to be very careful with what you're doing.
Taxes.
Yeah, and then, you know, for all those people besides me who accept returns, because, you know, I don't accept returns. You know, then you can't pay them until, you know, your return window is closed. So, like, you know, like it's just keep your poles away from consignment.
All right. So I agree with everybody. I'm going to tell you that's my opinion. I'm not a consignment person. If I were to do it, I would need a $500 item, a 50-50 split. I will do it for that, and I would have a contract. But consignment chats on YouTube, that is what they do for their business, and they love it. Go watch them if you want to know about it. They have a free downloadable contract. They spoke at Boss Reseller Remix. It was very interesting to me. It's not something I want to do, but I could see it being a business model if it's something you want to do. Now, so if you say 50%, like, is she storing the stuff? Are you storing the stuff? Are you going to have to go there to ship it? What if she breaks something and you sell it and it's under your name? There's like so much stuff. And I think most of the ladies at consignment chats, after 6 months, that item becomes theirs and their seller gets nothing. So if it doesn't sell in 6 months, it is now their property. So you really need to think about how you're going to do it, not just the split, but at what point are you putting it on sale? At what point is it yours? At what point are you donating it? You know, like, because this could be stuff that could take, what if it takes 4 years? Like, what are you going to do then? You know, like.
You're going to send an 85% offer live on Tuesday night.
But there's times where people ask me, hey, can you sell this over me? And I look at it, I'm like, it's not worth my time either. You know, so I'm going to tell people, the biggest thing out there is it's okay to say no and just explain to them the reason why. And sometimes if you tell them no and you explain to them the reason why, then they're open to potentially selling it to you because they want to deal with it. But like, hey, I can show you how to list it. You can do all that stuff, but it's not something I want to do for someone else. I'd rather just buy it outright. So I've had those conversations.
Or it's not worth buying outright. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't, like, even if I thought about this, I think my minimum would be like a $50 item. I'm not going to do less than $50. Right now I wouldn't do less than 500, but it has to work for you. And yes, Teresa's right. Everybody thinks their stuff is worth more. They're going to see some fool that listed $1,000 Beanie Baby that's worth $9.99, and they're gonna think theirs is worth $1,000, and you're gonna have to tell them.
Google,
I love doing that. I love telling people that.
Ever since Google Lens,
I'll show them. Like, come on.
Yeah, with Google Lens now, they pull up Amazon listings, they pull up Etsy, and they pull up all these like crazy listings. But this is the best piece of advice I give to a lot of people is, I would tell you at this point in time in my reselling career, the best business deals I've made are the ones I didn't make. Because even though that there's money to be made, it's okay to leave money on the table, guys. Because there's so much stuff out there. How many times have you like, oh, I didn't find anything this week, and then next week you go out and you just hit the mother load of stuff.
I love it when people leave money on the table, especially when I'm sitting there.
Yeah. But I mean, it's okay. It's okay to walk away from a deal, guys. You guys, just because you guys can make a good profit from it and it's stuff that you don't have to source, you can get it. Like, it's okay to say no. Like, because sometimes it's more work than what it's worth.
All right.
Tim, you got a video?
Yeah, I got thousands.
Yeah, did you answer her in the chat?
I did answer in the chat.
Tim has tons of good videos. So go. His channel is linked, but Marsha told me the link didn't work, which is weird because like I went to his channel and copied it.
Yeah, I put out a video today too. So
yeah, if you guys can't find it, message one of us. I'll double check it too. This is like the $1 million debate question that we haven't had in a long time.
Easy answer: never, ever, ever do free shipping. Under no circumstance should you ever do free shipping. Shipping is not free, so you should never do free shipping. Don't try to incorporate it in your price. Don't listen to anything that anybody tells you about free shipping is better and blase. It's stupid. Don't do it.
No free ship. I will tell you the only time I do free shipping but I took all my items down. It was Macari, because Macari has the worst shipping tiers ever. I couldn't stand it, but I stopped selling on Macari. So, but as a clothing seller, I do not offer free shipping because I can at least, if something doesn't fit someone and they're returning it to me, I'm not going to be out to shipping on top of giving them free shipping. So I never do it.
Don't accept returns either.
So here's the thing. There is no such thing as free shipping because you're going to pay it as a seller or the buyer's going to pay it. It's going to be incorporated into the price. So technically there's no such thing as free shipping. I don't do free shipping on there. There are a couple of reasons why. Number one is what they talked about returns. If I have free shipping on, then I can't charge the buyer shipping return. So if a buyer opens a return on eBay because they don't like an item, then they will pay the return shipping on that item. That's happened multiple times. Now, if the item is damaged in shipping, I will pay the return shipping on that. But I have the option to make the buyer pay return shipping, which cuts down on shipping, on returns. Number two, the post office changes their pricing every, 2 times a year, 2 to 3 times a year. Yeah. They even do price raises during the holidays.
Yeah.
So they do the twice normal raises. So that means every time the post office raises their pricing for shipping, if you have shipping incorporated in there, you would have to go back and update your pricing on all of your items. So for me, if I use calculated shipping, it's automatically factored in there. I don't have to worry about it. But at the end of the day, the only time I would potentially offer free shipping, if I had like a $5 item and shipping was going to be like $6. I hate the perception of someone paying more shipping than what the item actually costs. So then I would put it up for like,
don't sell $5 items.
Well, yeah, that's also too. But I'm just saying is that would be the only exception to the rule is if the shipping charge was more than the actual item to a point. Especially if it's low dollar. If it's a high dollar item and it's because it's super heavy shipping, people are going to pay the shipping for it. At that point, they don't care. They just want that item.
Yeah, I'm anti-free shipping as well. And a lot of that's because, like, for me, my location, like, I might consider it if I was more central, so I knew, like, the prices were going to be the same. But, like, a 2-pound rate close to me is $8, but to California is $20. That's a $12 difference. If I factor in $20, I'm never going to get East Coast buyers because I'm going to be higher than everybody else. So I do calculate it on mine. The only time that I would consider it, and we just do calculate it on everybody, would be like the jewelry that I know is 4 ounces and it's going to be under, $6 and charge like $5.50, or handkerchiefs or stuff that's under 8 ounces. I might consider, but I'm not gonna. I hate that it's the whole concept that Amazon Prime has made society think that shipping doesn't cost anything, right? Because they're not. You have Amazon Prime, you don't pay for shipping, and people think that shipping is free. They don't realize that somebody is paying for the friggin' shipping. And I hate that. Like, I will educate them. I'm like, I don't make a penny on this. I am charging you exactly what I am paying. So no, I can't give you it. Like, they think I'm making like all this money. I'm like, no, go to the post office and try to ship a 2-pound item from Florida to California. You tell me what it costs, because it's not cheap.
And people also don't think about Amazon. They're paying a $15 a month Amazon Prime fee.
You want free shipping, you could pay for that over the year's Prime every month. Holla at me. I'll set you up.
Put it out tomorrow. Over the year's Prime. Free shipping. Laura, I put this up here because I think you're probably costing yourself a lot of sales. An extra £1.50 on breakables is a lot, and you could be making your shipping go up by $10 to $15, and you could be losing a lot of sales. That's a lot. Be very, very careful doing that. It's a lot, because put your box, put your bubble wrap, put your item if you're new and not good at like guessing that range. And then do that. Don't add that. You're gonna lose sales. I see that on like the store reviews, not overly frequently, but I see it. And what a savvy and smart buyer is gonna search for what they want, and they're gonna sort it by lowest, by cost and shipping. I don't give a crap if it's free shipping or I'm paying. What is the least amount that I can pay for that? What I want. I don't care what model you're using. I sort by lowest price with shipping. And if you are adding an extra pound and somebody else has that item and they're not, and that you're in the same exact place, I'm going to buy it from them because it's going to be $10 cheaper. Not you. And I would never even see yours to make an offer because I'm not scrolling that far because I'm cheap. I want the lowest one that I can get. I think most resellers are, right? Like, because we know we can get this stuff at a low cost. Like me
Except
paying
Rob.
full price.
Rob's not cheap.
I'm like,
I'm cheap.
Like, this is a 50-cent hairband. Like, even my hairbands come from the thrift store. Like, and I think this is a $1 shirt. And my pants I got off Poshmark. I did get them off Poshmark. But yeah, lowest with shipping is how I'm gonna go. All right, it is 10 o'clock, so we are out of time. We did not get to all the questions yet again. But I'm going to let Dan start thinking now, okay, of what you're going to say.
Buddy, in your podcast.
Okay. Next time you're going to have homework. We're going to make you write. You could use Chat GPT to do it and then just read it.
That's a good idea.
You should do that. Okay. So I'm going to let Tim and Dan tell you where you can find them. Again, Marsh has been putting links in tonight. They're in the chat as well. And then Rod and I will tell you too. So here is Tim.
Antiquity.
Okay. So you can find me on doing all my glass, antique, and vintage stuff on Instagram at Over the Years Collecting. You can find all of my non-breakable stuff on Instagram on Over the Years eBay. You can find all of my sports cards on Instagram at Over the Years Sports. You can also find me on Instagram for Dibdit Cards. I run the Dibdit Cards Instagram. I also run the Tiquity Instagram. You can find me on Tiquity on Instagram. You can find me on the District app. I sell in Dibdit Cards, Tiquity.com, Dibdit Threads, Dibdit Sports Supply, all of those places. I feel like I'm missing a Dibdit. Dibdit, the Dibdit. I'm on the Dibdit, the original Dibdit, the OG Dibdit.
What about Dave's Kitchen Market?
Well, I don't sell at Dave's Kitchen Market, but
really?
I buy food from there, though. I love food. You guys can also find me on YouTube, Over the Years. That's my main picking channel. Then you can find me in my sports card channel, Over the Years Sports. I'm also on the No Banger Sports Card podcast.
Jeez.
And I'm also on the Reseller Information Network every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm also on TikTok, Over the Years Sports and Over the Years. And also on Twitter. Over the Years DC on Twitter, as well as Tim Walk on Water 2 on Twitter, and the No Bangers Twitter I also run too.
Oh my
so
God.
that's all the places you can find me.
Oh my gosh. All right, Dan, top that.
There's no chance I'm topping that because I'm in a lot of those places, but I am like inactive in a lot of those things. You can find me on Instagram at Dan_in-demand. I mean, I post a little bit on there. I have my YouTube channel, Dan in Demand, but I'm not very good at posting on there either anymore. But I'm committed to the Reseller Leftovers podcast. New episodes come out on Wednesday at I think 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Eastern. I'm Central Time Zone. I forgot to say when I started. Kat, thanks for inviting me. Rod, thanks for inviting me to come on today. I appreciate it. I think that's.
What about your card show?
I would do a card show on Did Cards every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Central with Keith Vintage Sports Flip. So if you're into cards, we're doing a show tomorrow. I sell over there, and I sell. I don't know. I'm back and forth on different lives. I'm committed to the Did Cards, but I do live selling here and there. I'm not very. Oh man, I'm the worst. I sell on eBay. I don't know what else.
Okay, I'm gonna save you from your misery.
Okay.
I'm kind of a lone wolf. I just do my eBay thing right now. Like I don't. It's tough to keep up.
Oh yeah, I'm on eBay too. Poshmark, also Depop, Grailed. Yeah, I'm there.
I mean, I need to get.
Too.
I've been every time I come on here, I get taught why I need to expand my knowledge because I spend most of my time listing like mall branded clothing. So I'm like in the trenches just working all day.
Well, with that being said,
sorry.
So tomorrow night, you guys will find me on Dibbit Cards. I am doing a Bowman baseball break tomorrow night. You guys can go bid on those teams right now. On Thursday night, I'll be doing a football break with Optic Cards. So go check me out on Dibbit Cards. You want to come hang out with me? I'll be live for a couple hours there. And then you can find me on YouTube, Picking and Punching. As you guys know, I'll put a new video out tomorrow. Sorry, I was unable to put it out today. My wife got a little hurt at work, so unfortunately I had to deal with some issues, but she's okay. And I'll have a new sports card video out this Friday. I'm picking, punching cards, and I'll have a video on flipping and punching here when I get around to it. I just haven't been doing that, but please go check it out. And if you guys have any questions or want me to buy your cards, send me a message.
Rod will buy them all.
All right. Next week is going to be another fun show. We're going to have Cernock and Joe Philly Picker on next week.
Oh, nice.
So that will be a fun show as well. I will be putting out videos on this channel and my Cat's Treasure Hunting channel tomorrow, which are the two places you can find me. We also will be live on Whatnot tomorrow morning, probably between 10 and 11. I think Shannon already scheduled it on Whatnot. It will be Shannon. It will not be me. And we've been doing it like 3 to 4 days a week. So if you go in between 10 and 11, we should be live. I think she's scheduling them the day before now. And yeah, Tim, Dan.
I have one more thing.
Oh my gosh.
There's always
I just put out a video today. I found a $1,000 piece of pottery, but you have to wait until the end of the video to see it.
It's focusing on the wrong part. Okay. I was just listen. So Tim and I have known each other for a long time, and at the second reseller rally, I got to tell him, Tim and I don't even know if Rod knows this. Tim and I won the IKEA bag challenge. So It was whoever made the best outfit out of IKEA bags, and me and Tim were a team. And I made Tim a bikini out of IKEA bags, and his now wife, baby mama, his nipples were cut out, and he put on Josie's lipstick, and we won. We won. We were the IKEA bag champion. So I've known Tim for a very, very long time, and that was it was great. His walk on the runway, though, I think like got
Fierce.
us. But we
I
both
gave
won.
RuPaul a run for his money.
He did. It was fun. It was fun. That was a long. Is that 3 or 4 years? I feel like it's almost 4 years now.
I think it's
a long time.
longer than that. That was
crazy.
that was pandemic. That was 2020, 2021.
You know what else? Real quick before we end, I looked, and in 2020, I was doing this podcast, and I had my original 2 show co-hosts, which they both quit, and Julian, Bearded Thrift Machine, came on in 2020. And the first time ever that Julian came on, Tim was our guest for Julian's first show as my co-host in 2020. So Tim has been on this show for 5 years, guys. 2020 he was on. It's crazy. It's
I'm still here. I'm still kicking. Next time I'm on, I'll have a new list of things for you guys to try and find me on.
Oh, and by the way, you can find me and Tim tomorrow morning on the No Banger Sports Card Podcast with Carrie from American Arbitrage Cards at 11 a.m. We forgot about that one, Tim.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I said No Beggars Podcast.
You just what time?
You said Instagram. You said you run the Instagram.
Oh yeah. Well, I was leaving that one for you, Rod.
Well, I got it.
Thank you.
If you thought I did a lot, listen to him. All right, guys. We'll see you guys later. Thank you so much. Have a good night, guys.